Count Corley. Anyway, you're welcome back. Delighted to see you. And first thing I want to say is I want to strongly support Deputy John Collins' statement about community welfare officers. The net effect of the administrative changes that have been made there has been to make the poor poorer. That's the net effect. That's my personal day-to-day experience of how those changes have actually worked. Now, you know, I don't know whose idea it was, or I'm sure there's some very good reason for it, but we're confined to speaking for 3 minutes on the biggest the biggest item of expenditure in the government's annual expenditure. 3 minutes. As I say, I don't know whose idea it was, but it wasn't a very good one. Anyway, I'd love to have it explained to me. So I have to confine myself to asking the Minister a few questions. First of all, in the government's compensation package for people affected by inflation, there was an announcement that a 500 lump sum would be paid to certain categories, most categories actually, of social welfare recipients, such as disability allowance, invalidity pension, etc. And as the Minister will be aware, people on such allowances are entitled to take short-term training courses, solace, under the aegis of solace, during which time they continue to get their social welfare. They don't get any more, but they continue to just get their social welfare. And I found to my absolute bemusement, and this was confirmed in a written reply which was sent to me, that if the date of payment of that €500 coincides with a time when they're actually on the training course, they don't get the €500. Now that's daft, quite frankly. It's insupportable, and it's a deterrent, disincentive for people to go on training courses, which after all are designed to help them back into the workplace. Now I raised this issue with the Taoiseach on the 15th of November, and he agreed with me that it was a glaring anomaly and that it would be resolved. So what I'm asking you today, Minister, is it going to be resolved? When and how? The other thing I want to mention briefly is the Minister's recent announcement about encouraging people to stay on working whilst after they reach the age of 66. What I want to ask the Minister is, what is the position regarding all those people who are contractually bound to retire at 65? The government has consistently refused to legislate or to accept legislation to outlaw those type of contracts. We are told that to interfere with them now would be unconstitutional. Well, if it is unconstitutional, let's have a referendum and change the constitution, because arguably we've had referenda for less serious matters. And the final thing I want to ask the Minister is, what is the present status of the auto-enrolment scheme? Are we going to press ahead with the scheme as announced? Are we working on that? Are we going to have a proper debate about this? Because in my view, the scheme as announced contains a number of serious flaws and could be much improved, and I think it should be properly debated. I mean, and when is it going to actually be in operation? It has been delayed now for 2 years, largely due to COVID. A person on 45,000 a year, according to my calculations, will have lost about 8,000 in benefits now from both employers and the state as a result of that delay. So if the Minister could specifically answer those questions which she is replying, I would much appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, for your information, Deputy O'Dea, in respect of the timing allocated, and I accept your point, it represents a vast departure from the traditional way of approaching both the Finance Bill and the Social Welfare Bill, but the time allocated is allocated by your party whip, in this instance the Government Chief Whip, and in fact the time available for debates, second stage debates, is also decided by the Government Whip.
Okay, I wasn't blaming you, Count Corley.
Oh no, I know you weren't. I know you weren't. But maybe you might take that up at your parliamentary
blaming a flawed system.